Live. Good morning, everyone. I think I'm supposed to make some intro that goes like school with the way that Eric does it, but I am not Eric. Eric is not here today, but we have Matthew Burns and Artin. Hello, Artin. Do you want to say your last name?
Do you want to say
Or
it?
leave? Do you want to leave him guessing? We'll leave him
Artin.
guessing.
Asghari.
Yeah. Okay.
How does it pronounce?
Asghari.
Asghari.
It's kind of, yeah.
Okay.
You know,
My friends
that
used to
sounds...
say Ask Gary.
Oh,
Asghari.
nice.
No, maybe I shouldn't roll the R's. That probably doesn't work out super well.
I that sounds almost like you are gonna go into battle. You know, like that sounds like a battle name.
Yeah, you can do Asgard too.
Yeah, I
Asghari.
mean he's going into battle for schoolers every day. So makes sense.
Very, very true. So today, I normally would go into doing a school shout out and all this other stuff, but I am not as prepared when Eric is not here. Eric, we miss you.
We miss you, Eric.
Yeah. It's like, but I do know that we have a sad violin that I can play. 1 second.
Well, it really brings the mood.
Yes, exactly. I think the sound bites are my favorite part of how this thing works. But
Absolutely.
all right, so we're going to talk about AI and communities. In fact, I think one of the things on why I wanted to bring this up was there was a comment from Sam recently because someone brought up like the frustration of DMs being abused, and essentially Sam had said if it gets abused that they would like lock it down. And I will bring that up once it like pops up.
It's so
1
sad.
second.
People ruin it for the rest of us.
Right?
That's always
So
how
I
internet
thought-
marketing goes.
It's like, remember how we used to use the words like, we used to be able to use other things, and then it's like, nope, someone else ruined that. We can't do it now.
Yep.
So yeah. Sam Oven says,
Oof.
if it gets abused, we'll lock it down. Hopefully people can behave themselves. So let's talk about AI and communities, the future of communities with AI, and how to make sure that we behave ourselves. What do you think it means to behave yourself with AI? I'll direct it to Matthew first.
What do I think about behaving myself? Well, I think when it comes to AI, well, this is going to get philosophical real fast. But I think the major concern that I see in myself that I know for a fact is happening with others is that AI is so powerful that it can reasonably outsource your thinking. And that, I think, is the most dangerous thing. I think if we were truly behaving ourselves with AI, and I could talk about this for a long time, so I'll leave it at this. I think if we're truly behaving ourselves with AI, that we are using it as a thinking partner, and we are inserting a majority of ourselves into the work that's happening. And we're also using it as a means of increasing the speed of things. But I'm just as guilty as the next person of, taking advantage of the fact that it can be a good thinking partner. But I think that's where communities and especially like reasonably valued things are going to be in the future is like if everybody's intelligence, let's just say, jumps from 50 to 80, and you have very specialized intelligence or very privileged information, even if you're at an 85, you're going to be an incredibly valuable person. So, yeah, long story short, I would say behaving yourself with AI is leveraging it for speed of execution versus outsourcing thinking and things that can be abused in the human connection.
So you would want it to be, if you're using AI, you need it to be more human-like. Is that what you're saying? Or
And just be more involved in the process. Like
Mhm.
I'm seeing in my work, and as AI is increasing and making everything better, I don't like to ever put anything out that's strictly AI. Like I always want to have a human in the loop, document the process, learn from it. I find that the more I treat AI like a highly knowledgeable employee, the better output I get. Even to the point where when I tell it, hey, you're doing a great job, like you should be proud of this, I get legitimately better outputs that way. Funny enough.
Nice. I would agree. I think that's a solid answer. What about you, Artin? What are you? How would you behave yourself with AI?
I don't know why you emphasize the behave part for me, but I agree with everything Matt said basically. Though I guess I would just add nuance to it, which is AI doesn't have a why. So I feel like whenever I mess up with AI, it's most of the time that I don't understand what's happening well enough for me to actually get help from the AI. And I'm just like, hey, can you make a good thumbnail? Can you make a good ad? When I don't have a fundamental understanding of what's actually happening.
That is a very good point.
In terms
Like,
of, go
you
ahead.
mean like giving it context? You mean like you didn't give it the context of
Um,
why to do something?
Not even necessarily. Yeah. Uh, Okay, so there's like the context in terms of what information it has to do something, and then there's the context of like what you actually want it to do. And if I don't have a clear understanding of my endpoint, then I find it really hard to use. So, for example, I was trying to make ads, and I was like, man, I don't want to learn ads. Let's just do some AI stuff. And then I spent like 3 days just kind of like kicking rocks, basically, trying to like get this AI image like generation to work. And then I sat down for an hour to just do it through Canva, and I made like 100 times the output because then I actually understood what the hell's happening. And then I'm sure in like another month I'll be able to take that hour and turn it into like 20 minutes with AI. So I think it's more a later stage optimization than it is an early stage performance boost from everything I've seen.
Gotcha. That
And
makes
knowing what you
sense.
want to get out of it, I think, is by far the biggest unlock. That's really easy to think about, but like super hard to actually execute and do well.
Also very forgettable.
Yeah. Back at Monday, we basically had it like you can't start a project unless you define success. And success wasn't always just like, hey, go get a pizza party. Success is like, what are the actual metrics that we're using? Why are we doing this? What is the ideal outcome? Like you think about it from all these different angles, and that makes the output significantly better for humans and for AI.
Yeah. Also, in terms of the behavior aspect of the question specifically, I try and not touch AI as much as possible in terms of the actual community tab itself. It's like in the classroom, basically everywhere that's not the community tab, I kind of don't care if I'm being honest in terms of using AI. But you just can't do it there 'cause it's just dumb.
Agreed.
Well, that brings up my next question was what do you think Sam wants or and doesn't want AI to do with a community? Because we're all working on Skool and we see him. There's certain things, right? Like we know he's not going to do scheduled posts, right? But he's not opposed to using different tools. Like I have seen him talk in comments like, hey, if somebody's going to make a tool to do scheduled posting, all right, fine. He's not like, I'm going to make it where you can't do that. But then with him saying that he may lock this down if it gets abused, what do you think he means by that?
I think the main filter, I mean, I don't know, this feels like armchair psychologist almost for me. But I feel like the main filter I see Sam basically run everything through is just the end user experience. So
Yep.
if you read that post, she's talking about how her experience was worsened by the follow-up DMs. And if that happens frequently, then whatever tool it is will get banned. So whenever we're working at, well, I work with Skool, which is the biggest automation group right now on Skool. And it's like basically everything we filter through things now is just, does this make the end user bad, like have a bad experience or not?
You mean like the biggest school automation group, right?
What did I say?
You said biggest automation group on School.
Oh,
And I was like, well, Nate, Herc.
yeah, nowhere close.
Yeah, let me just bring this up so that people know what we're talking about if they haven't heard about it before.
That's a like, did you eat, comma, grandma versus did you eat grandma?
Yeah. Yeah, those are important. So this is Scoot. So you make school easier to run while increasing the revenue with automations and AI now?
Yes.
Okay. I like the one word answers yes.
I don't know what else to add.
She just do such a good job, Jenna.
It's amazing. Ta-da. And how do you what do you think about that? Like the end user experience, what do you think would be a not good end user experience for somebody, Matt, when it comes to AI?
The and like, you know, people are going to expect that they're going to be reached out to. I don't think that's unknown. You give somebody your email address, you sign up for their community. You're gonna hopefully hear from that person. You're gonna talk to them. But I too have been, you know, at the mercy of what felt like an endless automation, where even the person was like, "Hey, this isn't an automation." I'm like, "Come on, bro! Like, nobody is this crazy about this." But yeah, I think when it comes to the end user experience, I'm as the builder of Proofworth, right? I am always thinking about where does friction exist, and how do I remove that friction, the negative friction, because there's also positive friction, right? Like if you have a long sign up funnel, you might get less people to join your community, but the people who do join are going to be super qualified, super interested. So there are forms of friction. But like I was on a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they're like, I never made a community on Proofworth because the reviews took too long to fill out. And I was like, oh well, I've actually seen that friction happen. That the way that I had built it originally made the end user experience not as good as it could be, and so that's changed. Like, have you seen it recently? And they're like, oh no, it's like been a while, and they came back and tried it out, and it seems like they found it to be a lot better. So I think, yeah, you need to understand where the good friction is and where the bad friction is. And in my training for folks at this awesome community here that you're seeing, I call it features and bugs, right? So being in the software world, I think a lot about features and bugs. It's very clear sometimes, and other times it's very hard to tell. But there's friction where that's actually a good thing. That's a feature that you can utilize, and it can benefit you and your community. And then there's stuff where, like, oh, the reviews take too long to fill out on my software tool. Okay, well that's not a feature, right? That's actually negating the end user experience. And I think with Skool in particular, it's going to be about, like, what are the expectations that somebody has when they join a community, and how do those expectations get fulfilled in a reasonable way. And that's the hard part about this. Like the Supreme Court ruling on, what is pornography? They said, oh, well, I'll know it when I see it. and that was like an official, an official ruling there. I think you have to have a similar sort of thing where this abuse isn't as cut and dry. So it's got to be, I guess, like Artin said, Sam, he has that skill of understanding, or quickly learning from and walking back on, like, what's the right vibe for this. I think he's proven more times than not that they do a good job of getting things out the gate, and when they don't, they talk about it and fix it. But yeah, that's how I think about the end user experience. It's like, where are the features and where are the bugs?
Yeah, I think the reason also it's really good to have you on here is you're going to know if somebody's going to have a bad experience with the community, because this is where they come and put community reviews, right?
Yes.
So you would probably, if AI
gotten
was
a
being
few.
abused, yeah, if AI was being abused in a community, you'd probably hear that in like your reviews in your community, and that could lead to people not joining, right?
Absolutely.
So that would be pretty important to make sure that you get right. I know that there was a community I was in, and they were using automation. I don't know that it was technically AI, but I kept getting the same message from this person. I was like, you haven't logged in like 5 days. I know this isn't you. And turns out it wasn't even a real account. It was just some account that they had made. And I'm like, bruh, that is a terrible experience. By the way, Eric says, absolute Artin. So he is maybe listening in for a little bit while he is not available to be on. And then we had a good point from Jesse, because it's not that they don't use AI. They do. The school news thumbnails, they're all done by AI. So it's not like not like Sam is completely opposed to that.
Yeah, there's ways to enhance the human experience, I guess, is the technical way, right? Mm-hmm. How do you make the end user experience better? I think about that all the time. Like Scoot working on awesome AI features, has a bunch. Same thing with ProveWorth. Like we have like a chat feature so that you can actually, like, instead of just reading a review, you can actually talk to an AI chatbot that has all of the content and case studies and testimonials in its knowledge base. And I feel like that's an enhancement, because maybe somebody doesn't want to read and they want to ask a specific question, and they want to get filtered reviews based off of that question, right? If I'm a a mom in Omaha, I'm probably going to want to know something different than if I was, a young tech founder in New York, right? So everybody's going to have the future of what AI does is that it is going to be that context. And I think that's what's going to make communities, that much more important, but also help people find the right ones, is because they're going to have these AI tools that know everything about them, to an alarming degree. And those tools are going to be able to then make more informed recommendations. So that's the future that's coming.
That would be cool. Like, so you go to somebody's, let's say their ProveWorth profile. Like I saw this one community, but it's charging $99, and I'm not sure I want to put $99 yet. The About page didn't convince me, so I go start looking for reviews, get on ProveWorth, but then there's like so many testimonials and there's so many other things going on that I'm like, oh, I wish I could just ask a question, right? Because you can't message an owner, by the way, from Skool right now without already being in their community or having previous connection with them. So go to ProveWorth and then asking your AI to just kind of answer the questions for you based off of what is currently just in there, and hopefully not get any kind of like hallucination answers from AI where they're just making things up. That would be really cool, because it saves time. People, it's almost like, when you go shopping online and then it's like it's not going to let you use like a save card, or it doesn't let you use Apple Pay or PayPal somewhere where it's already saved and you have to go get up and get your card. Sometimes you just don't buy the thing, right?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
So
And I think that's why it's important that AI always cite its sources. I think ChatGPT even like inserted this into the research process. That's like does this all the time. But I always ask it to tag things as assumptions when they are assumptions. And so my base prompt always says like, if you make an assumption, first off, don't do that. But like if you do, tag it as an assumption so I can see that versus a citable fact. And I found that there's an alarming amount of assumptions that AI will make if you don't kind of watch those things. So like if you're integrating AI into your community, that's another good thing to think about. If you're using it maybe for support or something like that, you really want to make sure that it makes as few assumptions as absolutely possible. That's why on Proveworth, when you talk to like the official community chat of a community, it'll actually the review will actually pop up and say this is where the AI is getting this information from, and it'll show it to you. You can click it, you can read it, see it's a real person. I think with Skool also, like the auto mod feature, that's been around for a long time in other kinds of communities, but like Skool has done it by far the best, other than Reddit and other things. And I think that's what's going to enhance and make communities on Skool better is, how do you keep it specifically human? How do you make it more, how do you help people engage and be a part of the community more versus just, getting 1,000 DMs from a faceless AI.
right. There's some of the stuff with Automod. It's been interesting to see because they've had to like implement, get someone reaching out to them and saying, "Hey, I'm not, I'm not high risk. I am a human. I'm not a bot," and then they can like clear them through that. But it's been super helpful for anybody that wanted to have like auto approve on too. Like it's really helping community owners. And every once in a while you get the person that slips by and goes, "Hey, I'm living my best life as a millionaire." And you're like,
WhatsApp
okay.
me. Here's my exact phone number.
Yeah. You're like, okay, bye. But for the rest of them, it's been really nice to be able to just have them sitting in membership requests, and we can go decide if they're human or if they're bot and if we want them in. Because that's the other thing. It's like, I really appreciate that Sam didn't make auto mod where it's just like completely block them and we don't have the choice. Like we still have the choice as humans to go in and say, yeah, we don't want that person in. That does look like a bot. So
at least in my case, I have because I've tracked it, and it's basically like a 99% hit rate. That when it's high risk, like it's high risk. Very rarely have I run into a situation where the high risk is inappropriately tagged. But I'm glad that I'm able to see that because like I still want to be able to let those people in.
yeah.
But yeah, it's gotten, at least in my case, it's gotten very, very good at tracking these people. These bad actors.
I just auto reject them nowadays, if I'm being honest. If I see high risk, it's just I don't want to think about it. So
yeah,
just
I mean,
reject.
and that's for some people that's the vibe too.
I've had 2 real people join that were marked as high risk. And I had one that I already knew was real because I'd already talked to her and she was in the community and she was marked high risk. But the rest of them have been bad. In fact, I kind of joke about this because I'm so active in schoolers and stuff. I get a lot of auto mod high risk things that are trying to join. So then what I do is in like our back channels, like I just take their link and I report them, I send it on in, and then they get chat blocked and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's like my community's like a little trap for them since it's free.
I was gonna say you're honeypotting the.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Like, come on in. The water's fine.
That's beautiful.
So what, like you mentioned a little bit about what you're using AI with communities, and if there's more, I definitely want to get into it. But Artin, how are you using AI with communities with Skool? Like, what is the possibilities that you guys are doing? The cool things.
With Scoot, we came out with like a MCP, which is basically you get to connect Scoot to Claude or GPT or whatever AI you use, and then you can basically use Scoot through the AI, even if you're not at your computer. Since Skool's an extension. I think that stuff useful because it's just simpler, honestly, and it's less manual because you get to do like bulk tagging, which is something you can do. Just tagging is something you can do, but we also get features which is like, I think someone asked for like AI comments, which we just kind of ignored. So we have to be pretty careful with it. But there's other things like generating lead magnets, AI sales rep, all the sweet stuff.
That's
Reddit,
cool.
which has been like my favorite website for almost 20 years, has basically been unusable because so many of these communities, you could tell they're like that seriously tracks. I'm like, oh my god, like nobody says that, you know? It's not this, it's that. It's like, no, you know, sometimes maybe people say that, but like the tells are getting so obvious if you know what to look for.
The one that has gotten me the most lately, and I'm like, oh no, they have some sort of millennial training it now, and now I can't be a millennial anymore. And it's like when they type "and honestly," ...
Oh,
people are
no.
going,
I say
that
that
is yeah. I'm like, no, I use this all the time, and they're like, it's AI, and I'm like, well, honestly, ... It is my thing, not AI's thing.
Oof.
What is let's do a speed round real quick. And let me pull this up because it takes me longer without Eric. So we're gonna do a Brother Ew segment. Yeah. So if you saw, because we just mentioned comments, that is a Brother Ew for me when I see something that's just an AI comment. What's worse when it comes to AI comments is when somebody has commented on something inside Schoolers, and then like 4 hours later, they also comment again because they haven't recognized yet that their AI has already commented on this. And I'm like, ew, that's great. And it's the same comment, you know, or maybe
So
it's just a
cringe.
slight variation. And I'm like going in and deleting it and then messaging them and be like, yo, this is slop. But what about you guys? What have you seen that is just brother ew?
I mean, it's really sad because it like makes me not want to make value posts, because I see like some slop value posts, and I'm like, you're just clearly marketing your company, which is like not even a bad thing. Like we all do it. It's like that's how businesses run. But it's gotten to the point for me, unfortunately, where if I just see like a flat out value post, I'm like, that's sus. I mean, but you know, there's still good reason to do that. It's not like a thing. But the value post with the question at the end, you know, like, what are you doing? Or I guess maybe the better way to put it is like, if it's I did this amazing thing that I know you guys want to do too, and then you go and click their profile and they're like a community building community, and it's like, all right, like, chill out, you know?
Yes. People feeling called out right now. No, I don't think we
I'm
have
calling
listeners
myself
that do
out
that.
because I, you know, I used to post a lot in Schoolers, and now I'm like, am I that guy? It's I'm overthinking it to a degree for sure.
I'm adding in the banner. What looks bad to me is when they're writing it, and then they just copy paste, and they forget to space it out, and so the the little periods, like the sentences, are all jammed together because they didn't format it after copy pasting. That makes me go, I'm like, well, that's clearly AI. We all know that you copy pasted this from like ChatGPT or Claude or something, and so that's a
Brother, ugh.
Ew. What about you, Artin? What makes you go, ew?
I think overuse of emojis at the most random spots possible. I don't know. I just hate it. It's so annoying. It's so because to me, I love emojis personally. I think it's like a good because you can't obviously say tone over text. So I feel like an emoji kind of sets the tone for the text that you just read. So with AI, it just kind of like splashes this in there like so randomly. So it could be like some angry emoji, and it could be like the most like tame message in the world. I'd be like, "Oh my god, I love that so much," with like the fucking frustrated face. And it's like, "Bruh, what are you talking about?" So I would say that's. But
Yeah, that would be. They do use a lot of emojis. Jesse brought up the whole part where they don't put the spacing, and then you get that
Yeah.
just like you were talking about. Comment your goal below. That
Oh
is
yeah.
another.
Oh.
Brother, ugh.
Yeah.
also, I think the main thing is just that there's no. This is something I saw from Pomozi, which I think is very true. There's no point to it, so it's just kind of like a lot of words, but there's nothing you kind of take away. It's almost like it's randomly generated words from a person that's not conscious.
Yeah, you don't feel like you didn't walk away going, yeah, that's great. Like I actually got value from it, right? You read it and go like, yes, those are all, I guess, valid points. I've heard them before, right? But you didn't walk away having a like a real human moment. Like you don't feel like you just read something human, I think. Jennifer wrote, AI comments kill me. Same. In that case, I've been dead like a billion times.
Yeah, as a mod, you probably seen your fair share.
Yeah. An AI post can be okay if someone's just trying to use it to make their grammar and whatnot better to get out their idea that they struggle
Yeah.
to word properly. But then replying to someone as a person should be in your own words. I agree. That's one of the things I struggle with when I do see stuff that I'm like, okay, that's clearly AI. But if you're going to use AI for, like, let's say translation, that's a huge one. We have people from other countries that are using an English platform, but they're speaking German or they're speaking Spanish and all of that. And I really want them to be able to communicate with us, and I think it's great. But then make sure that if you're doing that, make sure you go take time to space things out, and maybe even include like, hey, this is a translation, because I think I would
Yeah.
value it more if you just say that, right?
Well, like, a good brother ew from like 5 years ago would be, bad grammar and spelling mistakes. And now I actually leave that stuff in on purpose because I'm like, no, that makes it a little bit better,
Yeah, when I write, I kind of just I don't know how to explain it. I've become like the more and more emotional I come with my writing, the more I enjoy my own writing, where it's
Yes.
like not that polished and it's like pretty chill, and it's like for me it's like extremely short sentences with like a million full stops. I just kind of like doing it that way, so I just do it that way.
Same. I mean, I just dictate out my whole post. Usually, I'm like, here's my idea, here's my thesis, here's what I want to say, this is what I'm thinking, and then I use AI to say like, how can I make this point better? Like, try to contradict where am I contradicting myself? Like that's what I like using AI for in writing, at least.
Yeah, I will definitely use AI just to be that. Like I talk about it as my assistant, right? It's one of the most affordable assistants out there currently, unless you're using a bunch of tokens for like co-working or something, I keep hearing that a lot. But for me, I'm going to go and talk to it because I can say it way faster than I can type. Because as I'm typing, it's like my brain's thinking faster. And then I'm like, oh man, where did I get lost? And but I have to go back in because I want whatever I'm writing to sound like me. You know, have you ever read something from someone and you're like, oh, I could totally hear that in their voice, right?
Absolutely.
That's what you
why,
want.
yeah, that's why I love using those dictation tools specifically for that. Because I'm like, this is going to sound like me no matter what, because it's basically me saying it. So
What where do you think it will go? Because you're talking like Artin with Scoot, you're talking an MCP, so you can work from your community while you're doing the dishes, I guess, or anywhere in your house, right? Why is dishes my every time example? I don't know.
because that's a great example. Yeah.
Because you want to not
But-
do it.
Yeah, I'm like, can I just get my MCP to do the dishes for me?
We're getting pretty close. I don't know if you've seen the video.
Feature coming next quarter.
Yeah.
That's pretty soon.
Yeah. We need that needs to be a community. All the things you can get AI to do for you, and then they'll win school games as soon as dishes comes out because they upgrade.
That's the upsell
You know.
for tier 3 of Scoot.
Tier 3
There you
Scoot is
go.
dishes and housework. Gotcha. So there's so many cool things, and you're talking AI sales rep, right? So people that hate sales could just essentially leave that to their AI sales rep, right? And not feel the cringe that they talk about. What other?
I think that's a skill
Things.
issue.
Well, I mean, clearly, it is always going to be a skill issue. But
Clearly.
it's like it's a skill you have to learn. Or
Yeah, but I also
force
don't think you
yourself.
have to be salesy. Just like every time I've had that, and I'm supposed to sell the AI sales right now, but every time I've had someone talk about how they like don't want to be salesy, it's like just don't be salesy then, you know?
Right.
Like you can learn. That's a learnable
That's easy
skill.
for you to say. No, I have to defend. I have to defend my introverts because the cringe that comes with this, like that's why everybody's saying embrace the cringe, which I appreciate now, because it is super cringy. It is, but at the same token, if you have a deep core belief that what you are doing solves a painful problem for that person, then you will overcome that cringe. So the answer you're giving is exactly right. It's just do it, but you also got
Do it despite it. More accurate.
yeah. It's it's tough. It's tough. I've been in I know my career in skincare is giving me away here, but I've been selling for my whole life basically. Been in sales for like almost 30 years. Yeah, it's the good stuff. Yeah. I've been selling for almost 30 years, and it's still hard to sell for me. So.
Oh yeah, I'm still not that good at sales, but I'm just saying it's not. Well, actually, I do find it cringe sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I think I find follow-up the most cringe.
Haven't you built like most of the famous school communities? Come on, dude. Like you're clearly good at sales.
I don't know about that, but I think when I follow up with someone I respect, I find that really hard, especially if I don't have value to add, because I'm just being annoying. But I think I learned something recently, which is when following up, if the person hasn't, okay, there's limits to this, but if the person hasn't said no yet, or like to stop, and if they want your thing, then you can keep following up. The keyword being they want your thing. And that following up could be literally like over years and years and years. If they want the thing and something keeps coming up. I completely forgot my original point.
I mean, my life has completely changed because of cold messages and cold DMs. Like, as much as it
That's how-
sucks. Yeah, that's the way it feels. That's the way
Going
it feels.
into you look at your calendar, you got a sales call coming up. No.
Dude, sales calls? Oh my god, I would hate getting on sales calls, and then I would just get into the mojo after getting on it. Like, but 5 minutes beforehand, I would just sit there being like, can I cancel this call in any way, shape, or form? Like, is there a reasonable reason for me to do this?
Yep. At least for me, that's part of like I think this is also the importance of like when you are building a community like and building a business around that community. It's so important to find like where that zone of genius and passion kind of like overlap. because like for me, I just a service based business is really really tough. I've done it before. I could do it again, but I really love the sales call of a piece of technology more because it creates that distance, and so I'm able to like talk about how the technology can help, and if the technology doesn't help you, then that's fine. It's not a good fit, and we can move on. Whereas like, hey, I want to do this service for you. All the respect to operators and other people who are, pitching themselves as admins, managers, stuff like that. Like that's for me personally is just so tough because I'm like, yeah, but I'm great. And if you don't like it, then that's a core rejection of me, which is obviously not true and not the way to think about it. But like your brain tells you this. Yeah, it's a different ball game. my first business I ever ran was I was selling life insurance, door to door, doing phone calls and door to door sales in Texas. And I did that for 3 years, and I mean, it taught me so much. I wouldn't change it for anything, but holy smokes.
Door to
Brother,
door
ew!
sales. Yeah, let's bring that back because that's a real one.
Yeah. And in Texas too, you see more guns than you ever thought you wanted to see.
Yeah, it's so true. There was one time where I went into this company trying to help them figure out like why they were having such a hard time like getting qualified leads and getting people, and so that meant that I had to go with them to go do some
Ooh.
door knocking stuff.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh man. So I'm going, and they're like, you're supposed to be helping us. And I'm like, no. All right. And so like I psyched myself. You listen to all the like the music that's gonna get you hype in the car as you're on your way to this neighborhood that you're about to have to go knock with the people that you're supposed to help training. And you're knocking on there, and that first person's like, get off my lawn kind of thing. Or
It's
even
so
like
brutal.
the one thing that was really interesting was because there's neighborhood apps, right?
Oh yeah.
And so as soon as like the door knockers enter the neighborhood, people are on that neighborhood app going, hey, FYI, the door knockers are coming, don't answer the door. And now they have Ring cameras, so you're on camera knowing that you're knocking. And then
Oh yeah. Thank God I did all that before Ring cameras
Yeah.
existed.
And I told some people, like, some people just did not know. Like, they had been trained, hey, if they have a sign that says, like, no solicitors, do not knock, right? Like, they've already told you don't. And they were trained, like, to pretend they didn't see it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's one way to make sure that you don't get a good qualified lead. Like, you're wasting your time. They already said don't.
Yeah.
So,
And people put them like on the door knocker,
yeah.
Ugh.
I didn't see it. I'm suddenly blind.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Eric is cracking me up right now. He's in the comments with us, and he's saying that he begs people not to take his offer. We'll just slide that up really quick.
We've all got our own unique way of selling.
Yeah,
It
there
was
are.
pretty hard to get.
Yeah, just plain hard to get. There are some people that will be like, you can't buy this right now. Like, even if you tried, you can't buy this.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's been more than a few people who use that technique as well.
Yep, I beg people to not take my offer. That's how it works. People are like, we're still going to throw money at you. That little gif. I'm not going to pull it up because it's a lot to pull these things up. So shout out to Eric for his phrases, throwing them up. So shout out to him to do that each time. So what would you like to see? Like, if you let's not even think about all the limits that are currently there. What would you like that's ethical, is in the zone of behaving yourself, and you think would still be human enough where you could actually just show up and be you, and it like helps in some sort of way. Like pitch me this idea of AI real quick.
In like terms of the, like which way would you? Because there's a just the idea of AI.
Of AI with communities.
Sorry. I
Go
I've
ahead,
been
Artin.
thinking.
Yeah.
I saw Circle recently, and then I remember the feature they had, which is like there's the post, and then like right below the post, before you even see the likes, it gives you like an AI summary of like the comments. It's the funniest shit in the world because it's so terrible because it makes things so uninteresting. Um, so that'd be my counter pitch as to why you shouldn't use AI.
I think as far as AI and community goes, there's moderation, right? There's analytics. There's all these things that you have to do that don't require, they require energy. Like
Admin?
you have to spend calories to to do these things, but you could easily offload that to somebody capable, and AI can help when you because I mean I've been saying this now for months. It feels like it's like there's no such thing as a technical limitation anymore. Like that just doesn't exist. So everything is a skill issue at this point. And so if you want, I think also AI can really help with signal. Like one of the things that I'm working on right now is like, how do you kind of signal and coach the community builder to be able to spot, people who are ripe for a testimonial, or maybe people who are potentially going to be churning. Those are ways that AI can take the heavy lifting off of the builder, so that you could go and be with the people, right? Like, if you're just using it to send 1,000 DMs and never, try to respect people and bring value in that way, if you're just using it to spam, like there's no case for AI in communities. But if you're using it to, better understand your people, give value to them faster, get analytics, run admin and moderation better, create visual, like more meaningful visuals. Like these are all the things that Skool is kind of naturally starting to do. Whereas, yeah, Circle is, I saw that too, and I was like, is this a joke? It's like, but that's the thing is, you could go really, really overboard. Like the internet, arguably incredible. We're having our conversation on it. We love the internet. Has some bad stuff happened on the internet? Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing with any new technology, is like you have to find the golden mean, to quote Aristotle, right? Like there's a middle ground where this is good for you and good for them. But, like anything in life, whether that's, loving one another or sales, if you don't do enough, nothing happens. But if you do too much, people hate you. So where is that median, in the middle there?
True. Could you imagine if what would happen if your salesman, your car salesman, was texting you, triple texting you, quadruple texting you, and you're like,
People
bro,
die.
I'm over this. Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be toxic as hell. I was like, I do not want to hear from the engine repair guy that much.
Yeah. He's like, did you know that we could add this new thing to your engine?
Yeah, but also that's another instance of where context matters. Like, if like for the example the other day, I had a flat, ran over a nail while heading to the gym, came back and I thought there was a snake in my car, but my tire was just hissing its way to oblivion. And that's when I really wanted to hear from the tire people. I'd be like, hey, I just bought these tires, now I've got a flat. What's the process? And I really, really want to hear from them. And then we resolve the issue, and it's like, okay, I'm chill. I don't want to hear from you guys for a little bit, hopefully. So when you have that problem, and I'm a qualified customer, yeah, exactly, and I care about my car's extended warranty. That's when you need to be able to go out and make this stuff work.
True. But some of the things you mentioned, I feel like I've heard, because I definitely got on Scoot's call. I feel like it's already doable, right?
Yeah. I mean, there is no technical limitation anymore. You know, Scoot is making very easy what like right now you could build all sorts of technology, but do you really want to be thinking about like how it works and the best ways to integrate it and build like I wouldn't want to do it. All the doomers who are saying, "Oh, AI is going to, kill software." It's like, "No, absolutely not. It's going to kill bad software. Like it's going to kill expensive software that doesn't bring value to people." Good software like Skool as an example, people are going to want to use that stuff. It's gonna make their lives better and it's gonna make their lives easier. Could you go out and build a website and run a community on it? Absolutely. Like that's been possible for a very long time. But do I want to be thinking about all that stuff? No.
Yeah, when people want, there's nothing more fun than avoiding the car warranty. Warranty
Exactly.
on a
Yeah.
car. I can't read.
To add to Matt's point, I feel like there's like two. I mean, the way that I've been thinking about it since working with Skool is this, and tell me if there's more actually. There's like two advantages to just buying software instead of building your own, which is one, you don't have to spend time thinking about it and updating it, and two, the natural data and advantages that come with it. So, for example, with Skool, I was thinking about this the other day, which is someone could just, let's say hypothetically, build Skool like as a one-to-one copy. It still wouldn't really work just because of the discovery system. So there's a lot of the time other advantages that come with going into an existing code system. What is that? System. That's useful.
Yep.
Bum, ba, bum.
Ecosystem. There it is.
Exactly.
That's a word that ChatGPT uses a lot. Ecosystem.
Thanks, bro.
I use ecosystem a lot too. So sad.
Yeah. I wonder. There's some people that said they use the M dashes a lot prior to ChatGPT coming around, and I'm like,
Dude, I feel like I use that
Sus.
now, if I'm being honest. Not
mean,
the
M-dash
long
is-
ones.
I think it's in like Pride and Prejudice. Like people use it
Yeah.
M dashes for centuries, but now you see them, and most people are brother ewing that.
Yep. I feel like if we ever get an AI that goes and learns the language of Gen Zers, or like what's younger than Gen Zers now? What was that one called? Do you know?
Baby boomers.
Gen Alpha or something. I don't know.
Gen Alpha, I think. And they start like referencing, they're like, "That's so cat, bro," in your chat. That would be so funny. Because then everybody would stop and be like, "You said cap, you're AI for sure." But yeah, I think when it comes to AI and communities, kind of like what we were talking about as far as like what Sam said, as far as behaving yourself, is how would you want your human interactions to be, right? That's a good standard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then also on top of that, because you'll also have the people that are like, "Oh yeah, I don't care if I get people messaging me over 5 months and never getting a reply." Be like, "Okay, therapy might be needed here. Don't be doing that." If those people are okay with it, then always
Depends if they
having
want
that,
to or not.
yeah, always having that feedback loop, which is why it's so important to have something like Proofworth. Is like you'll get the feedback. You go learn, even if you're not gonna. Okay, so this is just my thing. It's like even if you're not gonna go set up a Proofworth account, then at least go join the community so you can learn everything from Matt. Because he's putting a lot of stuff in there about feedback. Because honestly, if you've gotten bad feedback, you do have to sometimes take in a moment to like, okay, don't react. Emotional regulation, because this is like, yeah, because we do take it personal, and or sometimes people do. I try to, like, my little go-to phrase for most people now is like, unless they know you personally, it really can't be personal. even when it comes to being on a community. They're just getting like one side of like you as a community owner. But I would say having the feedback, they'll tell you if they don't like it. Like if you have made it a open connection where it's like you're not reacting. Because imagine you have somebody that's like, you give them feedback like, hey, I would feel better if you didn't like use AI comments, or I would feel better if you didn't use AI value posts in your community. I would feel more like likely to engage if it wasn't value posts all the time. And that owner comes back and goes, rah!
Yeah, to your point, I'm gonna misquote it, but I want to put it on a shirt, and I probably will. I'll have to attribute it to him. But I was at a Skool IRL this weekend. And I got to meet Phil Crimmins from the Mandarin Blueprint, and he hadn't met me. We hadn't spoken, but he had gotten up and talked about growing this huge 30,000 plus people community, and like their business is doing very well, their community is doing very well. And he said, I pray that we always hear and find those 1-star reviews because they're out there, right? He says they're always like at this, especially at the point of scale that they're at, like they're absolutely out there. He's like, I pray that we get these because we're gonna be able to learn from them. We're gonna be able to know what we need to do, and we're gonna be able to iterate and make it better and turn those into 5-star reviews. And I was like, preach.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. But I think that's the mindset that you got to have. And this is what's happening, by the way, on Proofworth. The reviews themselves have actual timelines. So if somebody leaves a 1-star review, they can change that review, and it will show that that's changed. And I think that's way more powerful than just a 5. I mean, 5-star reviews are awesome, right? But that authenticity of the human journey of like, hey, I had a bad experience, worked with the owner, they made it better. That's the kind of stuff that people
now
really
it's
care
2
about.
stars.
I mean, hey, where
Improvement.
you make it where you can. You make it where you
Goes
can.
back to 1.
I think that this is an interesting
I think
thing. I
that's
want to
really
know
cool.
if other people feel this way. When I go on Amazon to buy something, I'm going to look for things that have reviews. If I see something that has 2 to 3 5-star reviews, I don't trust that, just like I don't trust 0 reviews. And it's
Why?
weird for me, like, because I don't know that this is, if it's an accurate thing. It's like you've gotten 2 or 3 5-star reviews. To me, that could have been your mom, your sister, and your dad, right? For me on Amazon, it would have been like their employees. So, oh man, my thing is lagging. If I'm lagging, I'm sorry.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have just turned into robots for me. 1 second. Okay. No, it's AI. It's taking over. You weren't here for real. Just kidding.
System prompt enabled.
Yeah. But yeah, so if I see just like a couple of those, I'm like, no, I need a little bit. I'm going to likely buy the thing that says like 4.5 stars, but has 100 reviews over the one that says like it has full 5 stars and it only has 3 or 4,
For me, that is never more prominent than a restaurant.
Yes.
I would much rather eat at a 4-star restaurant that has 1,000 reviews than a 4.9 that has 10.
Yep. Why are you laughing, Artin?
I'm trying to think of a nice one. How do I say this?
Yeah, just share it. Just share it. Do we have a bleep animation?
It's not useful at
Yeah.
all. there's
Well, there you go.
certain
You're censoring yourself. Would AI do that? No, it would just tell you.
there's certain food cuisines. Let's just move on.
Yeah, we should move on for sure.
Okay. We'll just do
Yeah.
some noises. But yeah, I think this is a good topic. In fact, I think that this is going to be an ongoing topic, no matter what. As we start to see the new things that are rolled out, as soon as the dishes one becomes available, I will let you know. JK, I
Did you
really
see
have
the there's a video going around of like them doing package sorting at a postage facility. We're
No.
not far off. We are not far off.
The idea of having a robot in my house after the way that I've talked to ChatGPT sometimes, probably not a good idea. Probably not good for me. I do want to bring up what Jennifer just said because it's a good one. Real quick, hold on. Have you? Okay, here's a funny one. Have you ever been on Amazon while I pull it up? And seen that the reviews are like 4.7 and there's 100, but then you go read the reviews and it's about a completely different product.
Yes, Amazon. You know, a lot of these places at that level of scale and kind of generalness. Yeah, it's basically impossible to actually like monitor those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of why I think there's value in being very specific. You know, like Scoot for school, Proofworth for communities. Like you have much more knowledge of your customer and like significantly better control over the environment versus like we're everything for everybody, which as soon as you've been an entrepreneur for a few weeks, you realize that that's like a bad that's a bad place to be.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer says that she looks for the 1 and 2 star reviews specifically to read them if they sound like a one-off or a grudge or an actual issue with the place or product. And I think this is a really good comment for anybody that is worried about 1 or 2 star reviews, because this is, to me, tells me that that people are not going to just look at that you have a 1 or 2 star review and immediately judge you. They're going to like write you off. No, usually this is how it is they're looking to see what the issue was, and if it was just like a little or you can read it and you can tell the context of like that person probably had an issue with you personally, even though it shouldn't be personal. People are able to use the context when they're reading it, like unless you were hoping AI was reading it. So I did want to ask you before we wrap up, is with AI, because one of the things that we've talked about in the past, Matt, is AI is reading reviews for them and then making recommendations. How do you feel about AI reading the 1 or 2 star reviews and making recommendations?
This is I actually have a post kind of like locked and loaded that I'm hopefully going to be sharing soon about this, because the system prompt for a few of these popular tools has leaked or been kind of tracked, and there's specific information in ChatGPT, in Claude, that says don't trust reviews that are native to the platform. Meaning, if the review is on their website, don't trust it. If the review is in the ecosystem that the same thing is in, like if Circle came out with Circle reviews, or if Skool comes out with Skool reviews, I'm not saying these are bad things. I think those need to happen. I hope Circle, I hope Skool, I hope they all have reviews on the platform. But these AIs are actually trained to know when it's something that they have like more control or agency over versus like a third party thing. So not only does the third party, like the fact that it's coming from outside is an advantage to you. They are well aware that, and I even shared the result of a prompt in the community. So for those of you who are in there, or if you want to join, you could see it. But I made like a fresh ChatGPT account. I had no knowledge of me, no memory, no nothing, and I asked it about Proofworth, and it said, Proofworth is newer, so it's not as established, so be careful. And it also said, a lot of the reviews that it's able to see are all very positive. So it said, be careful too. And it said, it doesn't mean that Proofworth's bad. It doesn't mean those communities are bad. It's like, but be cautious. So I've tested this theory and basically proven it myself, where, the longer Proofworth is out, the longer your community is around. And the more places, not just Proofworth, obviously I hope that community builders, build a Proofworth profile, but like You still want to be mentioned on Skool, on Reddit, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. You want to be mentioned in all of these places because that distributes the trust, if that makes sense. Like there's a layer of trust that these AIs are being trained from the ground up to ignore or discount, because you're never going to be in the training data, and if you are, it's not going to be acknowledging it. So these AI tools are actually going out and actively searching for things that can be trusted. And in the system prompt of Claude, for example, it says, hey, if this review is on their website, if this review is in their ecosystem, if they've posted about it, in their specific space, don't trust it as much as you trust something on a third-party website. So, yeah, long story short, be in as many places as you reasonably can. Don't just focus on one thing, even though, obviously it would be in my best interest for everybody to focus on proof-worth. You really should be focused on having your feedback all over the internet.
That's really cool. So if you want to see that post whenever Matt posts it, make sure that you go join the community. It's free. So I think it'd be worth at least doing that in itself. And you have like just making your community available for people to leave reviews is free as well. Like if you want the upgraded stuff, that's a totally different thing. And if you want a sales pitch from Matt, just text him.
No, it's so hard for me.
No, he's gonna be like, Chad, don't do that. Cut it out.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, definitely go check that out, because if you do want
you.
to be trusted, you do want that other thing. I have to say something real quick. We just did the whole group card thing. Are you going to consider, knowing that you have freemium? So, with freemium being out, I can't say too much, but I can say what I have observed publicly. There are Skool ads coming out, and you're going to be popping up. Are you going to, the cover photo right here at the top, are you thinking about making something that maybe includes you, or puts like stars, or is like find your community, or what are you thinking you might do?
Yes, I'm actually going to be changing that right after this, because I've already generated a new one.
Okay, nice. And then what about the because proof, where it says so much that it's like they're not able to even read it when they're on Discovery?
Yeah, I need to shorten that too. I definitely need to shorten that too.
All right, so tomorrow when we do a Skool recap, we're going to come back and we're going to check this out.
Yeah, let's do it.
It'll be fun. Thank you guys for joining me today. I have to play our little sound bites, because this is what I do. And I think that we will be happy to have Eric back. But if people have more questions about like AI and communities, if you want to hear Matt's pitch, if you want to hear Artin's pitch, tag them in the comments, and we'll see how it keeps going. Hopefully Sam stays happy with how everything's going with AI. And that means like there may need to be someone out there that goes and makes training on like how to be human and how to treat people like humans, That would be an interesting community. Be a human in this AI world. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I am going to go ahead and end the stream here. This is the reason why we always hit all these different buttons at the end, is because it's like we both know that we're not good at saying goodbye. So, all right. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.